Hello, I'm Miss E. Dutton. I'm going to be making a short tutorial today for using Pinterest. This one is aimed at students, but I have another one for educators, which you can find on my YouTube. So let's start with the Pinterest homepage. There's also an app, but the Pinterest homepage is probably the way most of you will go. So pinterest.com. So Pinterest, what it is imagine that you had a big cork display board in your bedroom. You might cut out all the pictures of dresses that you like and stick them to one corner. You might cut out recipes in another corner. So it's a digital version of that, digital inspiration board. So as you can see, it's very, very easy to sign up. You just simply put your name, email address, password, country and gender, and you press accept. So I already have a Pinterest, which is Miss E. Dutton. I'm going to sign up a brand new one with my school email. So the actual pins are individual pins, individual images. Quite a lot of the images, when you click them, they actually go to websites. So it can tell you all different sorts of things. So you could do food, fashion, clothes. I have ones which have school library displays, lesson plans, all sorts of things. I have secret boards with my favourite food. So let's have a look for something I like, wooden toys. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of beautiful things on here. I'm going to create a board called Toy Design, which is something I do with some of my students, and I'm going to pin that. The content on here is completely user-led. You can add your own pins from any website, or you can upload it from your computer, but you can see there's a lot of beautiful things in here. So I think people that use Pinterest generally know that it is a site for, things that you're going to find visually inspiring. So you do find a lot of gorgeous stuff here. I'd happily pin most of that. Let's go back to Pinterest and now to my boards. So you can see it starts to generate that stuff. Let's create a new one. So food. So I do a food technology course with some of my students. I could create a food one first for inspiration, and then I could get them to create another board, say for Japanese food or for dessert ideas, when they have narrowed down what they're going to be doing. I'll create another one. Garden design. So this is something I do with 2-year groups. And I know that a lot of gardeners use Pinterest. And lastly, let's create an iPad app tutorials one. So I send students app tutorials all the time, and we have them on our iTunes U course, but it might be useful for them to save them all in one place. Also, it's a good way to find out about new apps from searching through Pinterest, so that's a useful folder to have. So you can go to the search bar and simply search, and this will show you individual pins. So pin it, pull down, choose the pin, and voila, it's done. You can also look in different category areas. So for example, I've just looked in gardening. These are all the things that have been categorized as stuff about gardening. If you want to be more specific, you could type in a type of garden or a plant name even, or you could type in gardening DIY. Let's put that one in there. You can see then when you pin it, it also shows you that the folder you're pinning it from. It's not stealing it from that folder, you're just putting in your one as well, but you might think that that person pinned something really beautiful, so you might want to have a look at the other things they've pinned. So you can go on there, you can actually follow their whole board, so every time that they add something to their gardening treasures board, it's going to show up for me. And look, I can just go through very quickly and pin a whole bunch of the stuff. This is very useful if you're following boards of educators you like, or maybe your whole class are following each other and working on a project together. It cuts down the workload and it helps you inspire each other. So going to type in something a bit more specific now, so English garden. So again, lots of beautiful things. Go back to my boards. Okay, it's not started to show up there, but it will do. I think as I just had a big update, it's taking a little while. So let's look at food and drink. So I could spend hours looking at food and drink on here. So let's look at something more specific, so Japanese food. So I'll pin that, put that into my food folder. Done. Most of these links as well, when you click the image, when you've pinned it, it will take you to either a website of a restaurant or a recipe, or maybe a food photo blog. Also, before we were looking at individual pins, now I've clicked boards. So Japanese food is something that I figured a lot of people would call their boards. This means I get easy access to tons and tons of things on the topic I'm looking for. I can also simply go through and follow all these boards. Now I just seen one which looks really, really, really good. A lot of sweet stuff, so I can go in and pin stuff quickly. Now I've gone to my homepage. Your homepage is actually a news feed showing chronologically all the things that people that you follow or your friends have added on there, also the things that you have added. So I can scroll back and just see all those stuff over and over again now. You can also, before I looked at pins and boards, you can also type in pinners. I've got one named after my YouTube channel, and then pinners. So this is my one that I've created for myself. So it has schoolcraft in there, things like London museums, science lessons, technology ideas, all sorts of things to inspire me when I'm planning a curriculum or when I'm teaching a lesson, or even when I'm making a display. So I actually share this with my students so they can follow particular boards such as DIY shop products and DIY jewellery. So here, a student might want to follow my board and I could have 30 images to get them started. They can go in and pin some stuff. They could go look at the people that I follow. They could look at the boards that I've pinned from. Again, this is fantastic if you have a whole class following each other working on one project. So I tend to show students my Pinterest, even though it's not really, apart from these photos I've made specifically for them, it is for teachers, but I think it's good for them to see a practical way that people can use it. I also talked to them about the fact that lots of people use it just for things like wedding planning or party planning. So there you can see all my things I've folded in there, pinned in there. So imagine that you were wanting to make some library displays or a display for your classroom. You might not have time, but you could save a whole folder putting them in there. So I tell students it's the same sort of thing. If they were designing a t-shirt for a class, they could put 50 ideas all in one folder. As you can see, it does not take much time at all, and it's very quick. You can also go through and just like stuff. So see where you're clicking on the heart? This will save it into your liked section. So it's not put into different boxes, it's just simply the things that you like. So you might want to put stuff in your like stuff and then pin it so that you don't have too much stuff in your folders. But as I said, it's a very, very quick way of getting visual information and inspiration. So hopefully you'll find that useful, and good luck. Thanks.